Yeah, I would definitely agree with the statement that residents do come from a variety of ethnic and socioeconomic backgrounds, and I think that's a real strength of 63110 because, and I think that there'd be some people that disagree with that because I think in some ways it makes our area a little bit less stable, a little bit more sort of people moving in, people moving out. But I think that diversity actually is probably its greatest strength. It has a lot of older people, a lot of younger people, very good mix of ethnic backgrounds that I don't think you get many other places at all. So to me, that's probably the main thing actually that attracts me to living here and staying here. There are other places, even within the city of St. Louis, 63109, for example, that have a much more stable population, much more homogeneous population. That's not the case with 63110, but that's actually, that is what I like about it. It's interesting that I think one of the things that contributes to that is the really good mix of zoning in our area. There's some commercial zoning, a lot of residential, but even within the residential we have some multifamily units and some single family units, and that helps a lot in terms of bringing about diversity because there's homes in our area that sell for $500,000, only a few, and then there's homes that are, you know, $100,000, and then there's rents for $350,000, you know what I mean? So that it can attract a really broad spectrum of people, and I think that's what I really like. But I also think that that's what some people feel is unstable about our community, is that there is such a diversity that it's almost, I think it's jarring for some people. I think the city of St. Louis does a pretty good job providing goods and services to my family in 63110. I feel like one of the ways we're very, very privileged here is by just the cultural attractions we live around. We're so close to Forest Park. We're a very quick walk to Tower Grove Park, to the Botanical Garden. Obviously that's not owned by the city, but I feel like we're very culturally privileged in what we can enjoy here in this area. And it's hard for me to know exactly what the city's role is in encouraging that and maintaining that, but I'm very, very pleased with that. I think just basic services like they offer recycling in this zip code for a very low rate of $40 a year. I think that's excellent. I think that's something that should be encouraged. Trash pickup, I've got no problems there. They pick up our leaves, things like that. The goods and service that, or the service that they do not provide that is most glaring, and I think is what cripples the city as a whole, is education. The public schools in St. Louis could be better. There's some really good ones, and then there's some not very good ones, and the good ones are difficult to get into. And I think that the city could do a better job. I'm not exactly sure what the role of the city is in that, but I would hope that they could do a better job of making sure that young families can stay in the city by providing adequate education. We have awesome private schools here if you have money. St. Louis University High School is probably the best, one of the best schools in St. Louis, but it's $10,000 a year. There's good magnet schools in 63110. Styx is one of those magnet schools. There's good Catholic grade schools in this area, but those cost money. So I think that the service that is most lacking is good, solid public education that's easily accessible to every family. One of the things that I do think, and Frank and I have talked about this a lot, I don't know if this would even come across well on tape or if this would be usable, but sometimes we talk about how one of the reasons we were able to afford and live in such a beautiful, 100-year-old home with a big yard on this beautiful street, big trees next to this gorgeous park, is because there are still so many people in St. Louis that don't want to live near black people. Like if our city was less racist, people would want to live in this. Like this would be a much more highly desirable area to live in, and we wouldn't be able to afford to buy it. It's only because people are still racist that we can even afford to live on this street and enjoy its amenities, So I think that actually it's funny. It's like we benefit by other people's prejudices in some ways. But I love this neighborhood. I hope we never move. I really like it a lot.